Hi everyone, today I want to talk about the importance of keeping things organized in your studio. And I know that it's not a revelation, everyone knows that already, including myself, but up to the point where I actually did that, I can't explain to you how it has changed the entire process. So today, for example, I thought I will do some journaling, and then I decided no, actually I will stop myself from doing any arts or crafts related projects, and I will just organize my studio, because this is something I was meaning to do since last year, and I was hoping to do it during the Christmas and the New Year's break, but of course it didn't happen. So today I have gone through my entire desk and tidied everything and organized all of my cupboards, all of my art supplies. I know exactly where my stamps, where my die cuts, where my embellishments are, and I have found things that I completely forgot about, and also found things that I knew that I had, but I had no idea where they were, which was preventing me from using those, which is leading on to what I want to show you here. So this little precious thing I created today just by enjoying playing with the art supplies that I have found in my own studio. And yeah, it is so important to keep things nicely organized so that you can start using all of your art supplies. It will kind of give you a breath of fresh air and make you feel very much inspired. So I would urge you to do a little bit of spring cleaning and tidying and organizing in your studio, because I can guarantee you'll find at least a few items that you haven't used in a long time, you forgot you had them, they will be stuck somewhere in the back of a cupboard or stuck in the middle of a big stack of stuff, which is what I had before, and so yeah, you will be just enjoying it. So I have found in the back of the cupboard this nice roll of crepe paper, and what it is just a paper that's a little bit kind of it's very thin. It's like tissue paper, but it's wrinkled up, and you can create different things with it. So predominantly I was getting it for art journaling, but today I felt completely inspired and decided to do something that just came to my mind. I haven't seen this anywhere, so this is just purely out of came to life out of inspiration from finding my own things. So what I have done here is, first of all, I also found this gold thread for my sewing machine, and most importantly, I actually found now all of the parts that I needed for my sewing machine. So the paddle, and then also the adapter. I found it like today, all of it, and it's so good because now I have no excuse. I can completely use it. I had so many situations where I felt like pulling out my sewing machine, but because I didn't have the adapter or the paddle at one point, I just had no chance to use it. So having found everything, I basically ran through this crepe paper ribbon with the sewing machine, just kind of folding it up as I went, so trying to slow down with the sewing machine because it goes really fast, and then just kind of fold it up a little bit. And I have gone with a zigzaggy stitch, a big zigzag. I mean, this sewing machine that I have is not professional one by any means. It's a John Lewis, kind of like a basics one, the mini one. They came out, I think, about 10 years ago, something, with these different pastel colors. Mine is a pastel pink, but it does do like a good simple job for crafting, because I don't think you need anything else for in terms of sewing, so that does a good job. So you don't need to, if you want a sewing machine, I'm trying to say, you can pick up one which is quite cheap. I think this one was £59 or something like that, or maybe, yeah, so it's not, you don't need to pay that much. Now the next thing I have done, I have also revisited the old to new their first scrapbooking kit, which I ordered about 2 years ago, something like that, and I haven't used much of it, but I have gone into the box. It's the vacation kit, and I have found these beautiful papers. So let me just show you. So there's this one, the 12 by 12, and it's got this beautiful rose watercolor pattern, which you can fussy cut, and it's got some petals here as well. You've got great variety of different elements, so you could create a nice garland with it because there is so many different patterns. So I cut out one of the shapes, and then I have also used another paper from the same kit, which is this one here, and it's like watercolor blocks of swatches, and it looks like it's been really zoomed in and made to look big. And so what I've done is, as you can see here, I cut out the corner and then used so this is the Heidi Swapp stamp set, which again I found in a pile. I completely forgot that I had this beautiful little stamp set, and the name of it, I'll try to find it. Basically all of the items that I am mentioning today, I will try to link. Okay, so the battery died. Yes, so I'll try to link all of the items that I'm mentioning today down below, so have a look and you'll have the name of it there. So this is the stamp set that I used. I used this rose here, which I decided to, instead of doing like ink stamping, I went with my embossing stamp pad, which I believe I tried using before and it didn't really work because it felt quite dry. So, but I forgot that I actually bought this with it. It's the embossing ink refill in clear, so there's no color to it, and what you do is you just once in a while just apply a little bit. It feels a little bit like a multi-medium type of you know, solution, kind of like creamy gluey kind of thing. So I applied a little bit of it. You only need like a drop, and you will see that it just goes into the sponge, and then it just works. It starts working. So I then stamped it onto here, and it feels quite tacky, so that's when you know it's not dry and it will print nicely. So once I've done the printing, I then went ahead with the embossing powder. So I'm using this one, which is the Wow Opaque Bright White embossing powder. It works quite nicely. It dries to this really glossy kind of finish. I don't know if you can see or not. And that's what I've done. And then finally I even found a way to use these ones. So generally I'm not a big fan of using wood in my projects. Also these particular ones, they're super bulky because not only is the wood quite dimensional, but they also have a little foam sticker at the back, which you obviously can remove if you want, but the whole thing together, it's a really thick piece, which I don't necessarily like. Now, in the past, I have tried to use them and it just never really worked for me, so they've been stuck in this little bag. And today I thought, because I actually like the inside, it's the I forgot the name of these. They are like these pretty glossy accents. So what you can do is you can just take a palette knife, and that's what I did. I took a palette knife just right at the bottom, and there you go. You just lift it like that. Hopefully you can see. Just be careful that you don't snip it off. There you go, you can see. So you can completely use them. If you don't like the dimension, you can use it like that. So I took off this little heart from this one and I applied it onto here. So there you go. And there's also the other type, which is like this, a button, and you can do the same thing with them. So that way you can start using your embellishments and all of that. So that's what I have done. And if you wonder how you can use it, let me just remove this paper because it's so bright. It skews the colors a little bit. So you can use this in a number of ways. So first of all, obviously you can use these separately. You don't have to use them in this type of look, but I just did two because I had enough space. So what you could do is you could embellish your cards like that. So you could stick it at the back like this, and then adhere another sheet of paper to make it look seamless, and that could be a nice addition to your card. What you also could do is, what I have in mind, is actually to use it in one of those journals that have ring binders, so you're not constricted to any dimension. And if you even decide to use one of those really bulky ones, wooden pieces, then you still actually can go ahead with it. So for example, I would then apply it either at the bottom of the page or the top page. So I could do journaling this way or up here, or I could do it like a little strip and then do journaling like that. I could also apply it at the top here and just trim the edges so it looks nice like that, and do the journaling up here. You could you know, put it in the middle. You could do some watercolor background, a few splashes and things like that to jazz it up a little bit, maybe some gesso for texture, and adhere that, and just leave it with no journaling if you're not into writing. So there's a lot of things you could do with this, but it just looks so adorable, and it took me literally minutes to make it, and I'm so happy that I have organized my studio and found so many beautiful things that I purchased to use, you know, and now I can do it. So I hope this was helpful and useful, and yeah, thanks for watching, and see you soon.